Catherine and Riley for 2
Well,
weeks.
let's talk
That'd
about
be
Riley
nice.
though, because
Oh,
I
do
mean
we?
he's being portrayed great on the edits. I heard rumors though that he was trying to sue CBS for $15 million for defamation.
He did that to himself. And CBS tried to portray him well. Like, they were
I thought so.
policing the heck out of their showmans there. That he was awful in the feeds, and people caught up on that.
Well, that's
on
why.
him.
That's why I don't know if that rumor is exactly true. And if it's true about the
Yeah.
lawsuit, maybe they're suing him because there was also the speculation that okay, I'm not saying yay or nay what I believe happened, but there was the speculation that it was a setup for him to be evicted, for him to
Mm.
not win the blockbuster, for Rachel to put him up in the first place. There's all this speculation. So
Because all that
maybe
came out of nowhere, right? It
Yeah.
seemingly came out of nowhere from the house.
well, yeah, right? So everybody could kind of like it's not unbelievable. It's not crazy out of left field or anything, but
True.
that was kind of so maybe that's what the lawsuit was referring to. Like they're trying to maybe claim a breach of the contract if they were forcing him out. I'm
Oh,
not sure.
it's
Yeah,
definitely not a
it's true that it's a
confirmed thing.
rumor.
It's definitely a rumor. It's not
Yeah,
anything
Exactly.
rumors.
confirmed or anything, but there was at least
Exactly.
there were at least words said. I guess Riley's mom is being active or vocal in certain things, trying to protect her baby, whatever.
Yeah,
Of
I
course.
feel bad. I feel bad for her. I mean, like, I don't know why the audience always
Yeah.
thinks that if you're worse than the bully you're accusing, it's somehow justified. That's the only thing I have a problem with here. When people start saying, taking it overboard, insulting his family, he probably is a good guy. And this is just a tendency in a relationship to be insecure and possessive. I know a ton of insecure and possessive people in successful, peaceful relationships. They just know that their partner behaves a certain way. They can deal with it or put them in their place. It's just a thing. Like, I don't know. I think a lot of people took it way too far. And I'm not
I
saying what
kind
he
of agree.
did, those things that we heard were pleasant to witness. But again, we don't witness that in anyone else's relationship either, because that stuff does kind of stay behind closed doors. And
Quickly.
for them to accuse him of what they were accusing him of, as the mother, I would be crushed if I knew
Yeah.
that, like, yeah, my
I
son was
just
messing up, but he's really not a bad kid. But he's messing up.
right.
And I try to tell him this all the time, but he's really not a bad kid. Like, I feel bad. I
Eh,
feel bad. And that's the only thing that bothers me when
Well,
people online feel like they're justified in behaving worse than the person they're accusing.
I
So
guess the
that's
only thing I would say about that is that I had my thought that I lost it. Go ahead, Colleen. You
Mhm.
were saying something.
well, I was just gonna
I'll get
say
it back.
that I felt bad for her, and that there's always a trend of this too, and this is just in life in general, right? Where I'm not gonna call them out. I heard at least 3 different podcasters being like, "Oh, she must have been a terrible parent. Look at the son she raised, and this and that and the other."
Horrible.
Would you like that for everybody that you know? I know plenty of wonderful, decent parents that, due to outside influence or whatever, exhibit behaviors that aren't like obviously their parents. I mean, I'm not saying it's just that like it was just unmitigated. Like I didn't hear one person give the benefit of a doubt to his mom. And
Yeah.
I
I
do
don't
agree
know.
with that. It's
Yeah.
not
You know what I
nice, like
mean?
especially because those comments of like, "Oh, she didn't raise him right." Like it's
You don't
always
know how she
all
raised him.
centered
They're
around
saying
the
he's
mother, as if like it's always the mother's fault for how the kids
right.
turn out. Which,
Nothing about the
of course, like
dad. Yeah.
there is parental accountability to a certain extent, but when you're an adult and you make your own choices, like we cannot keep the
Oh
parents
yeah.
accountable for absolutely everything, and especially like focus it so much on the mother. Like, where's the father? Like,
Hmm.
I don't hear anyone like blaming the father as well. Like, I don't know. That to me
And
screams a little bit of
and also I would
misogyny,
say
but that doesn't mean that the criticism towards Riley is unwarranted, because he was doing a lot of red flaggy things in the house. And while
oh
yeah, like there's
yes.
some people that are going to take it to the extreme and
Well
insult
also
him
this is
and
an
his
it's a unique
ancestors, but they are
it's a unique
just like
it's a unique situation in a very limited time span in a relationship, right? Kind of a thing.
And
And
she
so
likes him,
it's
confirmed. She likes him. She
yes,
even
she
said she
likes
loves
him.
him to Rachel.
And I got, I'm just I'm trying to give a different, like, I realize all the bad things, and you'll get that on
For
every
sure.
podcast.
For
So what
sure.
I will say, I want to just do a little of the other, and that when they've talked to people, they've already, I can't even name them right now, but there's several, friends of in his life, whatever. I've heard various things where they're like, in real life, he's a great guy. This is just showing a certain side. Like everybody says, great guy, great guy. Everybody in the house thought he was a great guy, right? They probably won't think so much when they see some of this, but it's singling out a certain aspect that probably is a problem, maybe for him, but maybe again, it's a situation of, I'm not explaining it away, but okay, let me put it this way. As I've said before, Catherine, for an example, everybody, oh, poor Catherine, poor Catherine. It might work for them because Catherine is not like, she's not, what do you call
Yes,
it? She's not an innocent that doesn't know life. Okay, it being in part of a dance world situation, myself and my background, as doing point ballet, she would have been around a lot of these kind of characters in her swimming background, in her dance background. Like she's not a naive
Nikki
kid
was
that just sat
gorgeous.
at home all day long. So they're all like, oh, poor Catherine, poor Catherine. I'm sure she's very aware of certain things. Maybe she wants to accept certain things. Maybe certain things make her feel a certain way. She lost.
Maybe she wants to put him in his place later when she finds out.
And maybe she's thinking when she gets out of this house, she'll set him straight on a few things. It's hard to know exactly. There's a lot of these relationships on these shows. People, couldn't stand Rachel, right? Her first couple shows. And just like Dee, as you've pointed out, oh, now, okay, I'm liking this new Rachel or whatever. But there were a lot of things people accepted about Rachel for the previous seasons that she was in. How, maybe how she was with this person or that person, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
but
just
they
feel like
didn't
he's not
call
given any
her.
grace. I'm not saying what obviously the things that were caught on camera were not great moments, okay? But I'm just saying, I just feel like it's just wildly like, it's going to be really hard for him to recover from this, or for her.
I
I
hope
don't
he
know how it's
learns
going to
at
be for
least
them on the
to
outside. I hope the
illustrate.
best for them both. I hope the best for them both.
I mean,
But I don't
we
think
don't know
he
what they're
meant.
gonna do outside of the house
Yeah,
now that they're both out. If they continue, they don't continue. Like that's on them. That's their choices, like you say. But I don't. I think the audience is like, just like he is free to act however he wants. People also are free to criticize his behavior for
that's
what
true.
they see.
You totally. And
So
criticism,
you
yeah,
know,
but calling him a murderer and saying like we're gonna run
Oh,
and save her
don't
from
hit
that
that.
house. Like
Oh,
somebody brought up a good point because they said like they're saying that they're fear for her. They were fearful, sorry, for her in that house, and they wanted to save
Yeah,
her. And
yeah.
that's
see,
when it started to
see,
become an exaggeration for me, because first of all, in the house, that's the safest place for her to be. Second of all,
absolutely.
you evict her the week later and succumb her to him and his
Yes.
dramatics and
And
his
hurt me.
exaggerated feelings now that he knows the reality of the situation. So now
Right.
you're putting her in even more danger, and with
Correct.
everybody exaggerating it so much, saying he's going to kill her in her sleep, he's a this, he's a
Oh,
that. Everybody is fueling this fire that never existed, and I get being I understand
that's
being
the
aware
internet. Yeah.
and being concerned for,
good.
but that's dangerous, right?
I mean,
Because
it is
all
like
the
you have a lot
people,
of radical people, a lot of like very crazy extremist people in the
exactly,
internet.
and
It's
with
always a
people,
minority, but they exist, and I agree that some people definitely take it too far. Like I wouldn't be surprised that there were people that were sending death threats to his family and whatnot. And yeah, that is not
Whoa.
okay. You
and
shouldn't
that's
send death threats to
contagious,
anyone.
and that's
Yeah.
But
contagious.
and I get that part, but the valid criticism, like
Valid
it's
criticism, yeah,
valid.
is I could never be with somebody like that. Valid criticism isn't saying he's going to kill her. That's not the same. So I mean,
Yes.
I understand saying red flags in a relationship, yeah, but if we all like look at everybody who's together right now, this day on this planet, if we all talked about the red flags of our partner and things that we didn't like about them, everyone would be
Mhm.
single. So there
Yeah,
has to be something that people are okay to
true.
live with. And people do behave like him, women and men. And from what we
Yes.
saw, we didn't see anything like the exaggerated version. From exactly what we saw, so many people behave like that. And so many good people too.
But again,
They're
just
not
because it's
horrible people.
normalized, just because it's common that you see it often everywhere, doesn't mean it's okay.
But we're
That's why
instinctive
lots of
Well,
creatures,
standards
right?
are changing and evolving, like nowadays, right? Like,
But we are
um,
in still instinctive creatures. So there are some things that you can't just form. You can't create a person. You can't make a personality. So there are innate things inside of people. Like if he is really insecure in relationships and
nature and nurture, that comes to personal development. Like you as a person, what are you doing to become a better person every day too, right?
yeah, but it's
If you
not
use the
Pleasantville.
excuse
I'm
of like,
just
oh,
saying.
I'm just like this,
I
therefore
get
like you
it.
have to deal with my flaws, like that to me tells me like,
well, also this is
no,
like
like,
they
No,
weren't
but
like
we don't
they
live
weren't
in
on the show for.
Pleasantville.
But the other thing that this isn't like they don't mean to be poster children for relationships, right? This is just
Well,
something that
that
sort
too.
of
Yeah. I'm
occurred.
not saying he
You
should
know,
write a
this is
self-help
something that
book.
just occurred in the middle of a game that's a 24/7 game, right? That's like all aspects of different things. But at the same time, you're in a game. So he's like he's your alliance at the same time, right? Which is how it
but
is
then
in all showmances of all seasons. So kind
But
of
then my
like
question would be, why did production not show the relationship as it was? What did they try to romanticize it,
Because
sanitize
that's
it,
not
take away all the creepy parts instead of just show what it
because
is? Like
that's
if
not a
it's
part
they're putting on a
okay, like you
show
guys
that
say.
because
yeah,
personally I believe that's not relevant to the game. She
right.
expressed that she also cared about him. So it's not that he was coming
Yes.
after her and completely manipulating her. She
She
also
was
liked
not a
him,
victim. None
right?
of that.
Mickey liked him
Yeah.
too. So there were attractive things about this person. So when you're
I
already
remember
attracted
Mickey
to
the first
somebody,
that
you
that
kind
first
of
day
deal
Mickey had put
with
on his cowboy hat. I remember that. Do you guys remember that? When she put on his cowboy hat like the
I do.
first day
yeah,
when they were
yeah.
when we were introduced to the characters.
Oh
So,
yeah.
I mean, you know
Sure,
what I
when you
mean,
don't
but
know
go
them.
on.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lisa.
Yeah. No, no, that's all. I'm just saying that I can see like there is something attractive about him. He is
And he's
to an
not and
extent a
also he's
good
not from
person.
LA. Like, oh, the other thing I wanted to say just real quick, and I know this is no excuse, but a lot of the newbies, and we know this, right? This drives us all crazy. They do a lot of these recruits now, right? People who haven't actually, been watching faithfully Big Brother seasons. I mean, I know Meow, you're kind of new to it, but I'm just saying in general, the contestants used to be people that were kind of had watched the show or whatnot. So they have a lot of these like newbies or whatever. And there have been some people that were saying that apparently with different conversations, I guess, that have leaked either from production or whatever, that both Catherine and Riley sort of didn't be quite aware, like they were aware, but not totally aware that this is 24/7. We're picking up their sneezing, like we're picking up everything. Like I don't know that they were. I know people go, "Oh, that's ridiculous." Of course, they know.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Like in Riley exit interview with
Julie.
Julie.
Any of them, but
Julie,
yeah, go ahead.
I forgot
Yeah,
her name.
that's another.
In
Yeah, what
his
do you
interview
think
with
about
Julie,
right
he was like,
now?
she
Yeah,
said something about like something he said in the house. He was like, "Oh, you heard that?" And
how
then
did
Julie
they
was like, "Yeah, we
know?
heard a lot. We heard something along those lines." And
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
you're right that they were
and
no, it
he
was
said that,
weird.
and they've had that in some other interviews too, or something. I think it was Entertainment Weekly or something. Anyways, and they said there was something too, even though the Catherine at the time was still in the house. Something leaked out about her telling one of the producers like, "Oh, she didn't get it quite," or something. I don't remember what the exact thing was,
Mhm.
but in any case, these aren't people that are thinking their relationship is getting sort of critiqued. I mean, like me, you would think, oh, they should know this, but they're not thinking that. They're thinking of just game stuff. We like each other. We're in a showmance, I guess they call it, and whatever. But they aren't thinking that every word probably or whatever is being critiqued to the American people. I mean, you would expect they should know it. I get it, but I also could understand that maybe not so much. Or like in Riley's case, right? I think, where is he from? Oklahoma or one of these places, right? Like, these aren't all what do you call LA savvy people. Like at this point, people like Rachel, they're LA savvy. They're savvy. They're, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a mix of people as far as like where they're from, backgrounds, they hit
Yeah,
to
like
get to the
obviously,
whole
like your
thing.
background,
You
where
know
you
what I
grow up,
mean?
the people,
Yeah.
the
Like
culture
obviously somebody
you
like me, I'd
grow
be
up
pretty like
around does a lot in how you
yeah,
think, how
I've
you
been here my
behave.
life, so I'd hip
Mm-hmm.
to it. Yeah.
But again, that does not excuse it.
Yeah. But
Absolutely.
anyway.
And what I was
You can
going to say,
understand where it comes from, but you doesn't excuse it.
yeah, what I was going to say earlier is that what I saw of Riley on TV, I didn't like. I was not a fan of. I called it out early and was waiting for him to be gone. He was on my team. He was drafted as one of my players, and I was like, get off! Get out of here! You know, right? I was like, I don't care if you go.
Yeah,
The,
I just want
the
to
thing is,
make
though,
it clear.
thing
I
is-
don't
the-
think I don't think he should be writing a self-help book
the-
or anything.
the-
I just
yeah,
want to
the-
make that
exactly,
clear.
of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
the thing I'm trying to get at though is that Big Brother is a very diverse place, like you've all mentioned, right? People from different kinds of backgrounds, all kinds of different ways of thinking from all over the country. All the people that were closest and into the situation, that lived in it 24/7, that saw it firsthand, they all seem to have loved this guy. Absolutely adored
In
him.
fact, Cass just put that in the chat if you guys have seen it, where even Mickey, what was that? What did Cass say? Anyway, but exactly right. Even like Mickey was like, they would
They're
think
gonna
that
hate
he's a great
her.
guy.
So they've seen him and his behavior firsthand, up front,
No.
not
they like
through a
him.
camera
And people-
lens, not through a live screen,
And people that
not through
know
a-
him like him.
Well, the point
People
that
that know him
everyone's
like him.
making with this toxic kind of behavior, the point is that people are making is that usually the man or woman that behaves that way doesn't show that to everybody. They keep that
Exactly.
behind the closed door, which is still
That's
fine
true.
because it's embarrassing to say you weren't holding my hand in front of everyone. But they
but it-
really feel that way, so they say it behind closed
And I
doors.
could even picture my
But-
dad saying that to my mom, like we were in public,
Okay.
and why didn't
I'm
you
just
this
saying
or
it was
that?
I've
so
so hidden though. It was so hidden for 2 months that no one else in the house saw it at all, including Catherine, knew what was happening to directly.
Yeah, because it wasn't a big deal that it was happening. It's not like Catherine was
I mean, it's not
fighting
like they
him.
were neutral to this guy. They loved this guy.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So what does that tell you? Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I'm trying to get at. What
That
I'm
he's
saying
probably
is that
a
the
decent
way
guy who's bad in
I have a
relationships.
feeling
But
he's
I'm-
a good guy.
That means
But
he's
what
very
I-
charming.
what I'm saying is that when I saw him on TV, though, I didn't like him. Didn't like his vibe. Didn't like the way he was talking.
Well, I told
You're
you
saying
guys
the
he's not even my
episode.
referring to
type.
people.
Yeah,
So when I think about
not
this
my
guy
type
saying
either.
that he
He's
was
her type.
defamed, right? It makes sense in my mind in a way because, if the people that were right there from these very diverse backgrounds, up close and personal, seeing him and living with him for months,
Yeah.
including the woman that he's
They thought
doing
he was
this to, are
America's
all
favorite.
vouching for him.
Yes,
Then
they're saying that they thought.
then
Zach
what am I
even said-
seeing?
Zach said they
Please,
all
Colleen, go
thought
ahead.
that he was loved. They all thought that he was probably AFP or whatever. That's what
Yes.
Zach said.
And that's exactly what charm does. Like he must be a very charming person. He must come across very good when you meet him in person. But again,
He probably
being
has a lot of good
charming,
qualities,
knowing
and
how to
management
like
isn't one of them.
being charming doesn't make you automatically inherently a good person. There are
But it
many
also
awful-
doesn't
awful
make
people
you
in this world that are
automatically.
charming.
But it
But they
also
ain't
doesn't.
either.
Yeah, but it also doesn't make you violent either, and that's what people are
Yeah.
jumping
We
to.
did see outbursts
Violence?
of anger here and there that were
We
kind
did,
of.
yeah, but we didn't see violence.
Not
People can be
violent. We didn't see
angry.
nothing physical.
I mean,
And
yeah,
I
like,
know
he's not
you
gonna
don't-
up and start punching people when he knows he's on TV. And I'm not saying that he punches people in real life, like or
Well,
whatever.
but
like,
that's
I'm
what
saying that
people are alluding to, right? And that's not
Right.
that
I
might
know
not be
tons of
true.
people that talk. They call it talking like a truck driver. I have known plenty of people in my life that if you heard them talk, holy hell, but they would not touch a fly. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's some people that do that
It just seems
verbally
like
a lot. It
nowadays,
doesn't
no,
necessarily follow they're gonna beat you silly because they
All I'm gonna
cuss a
say
lot
is
and yell a
time
lot,
will
you know.
tell.
yeah,
Time
and
will
all,
tell,
and
Oh,
I
and
that's true.
eventually we
and I
will
just want to make the
hear.
public service announcement that it just seems like nowadays there's no happy medium. There's
There
no
isn't.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like you have to take
It's one
one
extreme or the
extreme
other.
side or
Yeah.
the other. And I kind of like to see both sides. Like I said, I know people who won't hurt people, but they don't sound like they're fun to be with in a relationship. But some people
Right.
can handle that, and some people put that person in their place, and some people have kids with them and are happily married for decades. Like there's always flaws in
And
people, and I just don't
there's
think
always
that
background. There's
people
always
going to that
background to it
extreme
too.
right away,
Not to get
right?
personal,
I don't
but I
know.
even know
Yeah,
in my
like I
That's
get
all
that
I
marriage.
everyone
think.
has a baggage. Everybody has like the
Yes.
background, like you say, the nurture part. Like who did you grow around with? Like what was it like? How did
Yeah.
it shape you? How did you become who you are? And of course, everybody has their flaws. But to me, like eh, maybe just me, but like I think like part of the point of growing up and like living life is to try to be a better person. Like obviously
Yeah.
there's no like a pinnacle, like one
But
only
there's no
way to
saying
be a
that he
good
is not going to
Yeah,
person,
it's
try or
just,
isn't
but
trying.
you can still strive
He
to
might
like
be
maybe like
trying.
not hurt
yeah.
people at the very least. I don't know, or like I don't know.
And there's the yin and the yang of it too. Like I can
It's
tell
true.
you, I
No, you're
don't want to.
right.
I'm not
And
going.
it's just
I'm not.
impossible for us to not have flaws. It's impossible.
I'm not
We
going to
come
get
with
too personal.
flaws. Like that's
Of course, like everyone has flaws, but let's say if I don't know, like if I'm at work, let's say, and I have a really bad day, and because I'm in like a super terrible mood, I say a bad thing
mm-hmm.
to my coworker, let's say, and that makes her feel bad. I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, no, that's just how I am, and then leave it at that. Like the least I can do is apologize and be like, I'm so sorry, and like take accountability for it and like kind of like do better next time. But the what I'm trying to say is that some people um might want to deflect and be like, oh no, like you took it wrong and like brush it off and in that sense, like in the like take accountability
For
for the
life.
mistakes you
Yeah.
make for the mistakes that your flaws cause, for example, and like keep it in mind for next time that's part of growing as a human,
Well,
like
he
hmm
might be
a
doing that.
person.
We don't
Well,
know.
in
He
And
that
might,
too, there
work
haven't
on
been
some of
any.
these things. He might be
Yeah,
working on some
totally,
of these things.
totally.
We don't know.
exactly,
And
that's why I
also with
say
And we didn't
time will
see any
some
tell.
big
people,
upsets
We will see in
because
the
of his
future, and
flaws.
we will see which reads
Yeah.
were um
and
I guess
there's also the yin and the yang. Like
accurate.
I can give you, no, I can give you an example.
Mm.
Also, a lot of it too is what each person needs. I can tell you, in with my own parents, there was a situation. I understand in Catherine's situation, right? Her biological mom died, right, and she's got a stepmom or next stepmom or whatever it is. In my own mom's life, she lost her mom at a very young age. My dad, who, you know, he could get angry and that, but my dad was the type that he fulfilled something in my mom. My mom liked the way my dad was. Maybe it was something she needed. My dad wasn't perfect. They loved each other. They understood each other.
Like a
He
Bonnie
was
and
what
Clyde.
she needed at that time, and they worked through their issues, and they were married 44 years before his death. So I mean, but maybe if my mom still had her mom through her 20s or whatever, she might have picked different. I don't know. But at the time, that's what she needed. It worked for her. She wasn't blindfolded by it. She wasn't naive to it, but she liked it. She liked the guy who took control, and she liked the guy, to like, if they were going to go shopping for a car, you might say, oh, your mom was whatever, because she wanted my dad to pick what he thought the best car was for her. She liked that. Some women like
Yeah, like
that.
there's no one saying
Okay.
that's
And
not
so,
wrong. Like people like there's people for everything.
yes,
But I don't think anyone likes to be like I don't know beaten, for example. Like just for like a very very strong
right.
example
But
of the
that's the
boundary.
whole
There
thing, is
are
that we never
lines I
saw
think that are
Riley do anything
pretty
like that. BB
hard,
Production would never have allowed him to do something like that. Like BB Production would never have allowed that. That would have been stopped. if
No,
it's
of course.
visible,
He
you know.
wouldn't behave like that in the house. I don't think so, at least.
It was like the
I don't think he
precogs.
would. I don't
Everyone's
think he
just
did it. I don't think he would have done it outside either. I mean, I feel like if he did, that would have come out, or like when they're doing
But
background
I
check.
can
I
see
don't know,
but I can see
anyway,
like the red flags that it triggers, and then where people are coming from too, because a lot of times abusers are very charming and nobody
well,
believes
that's true
that they
too.
could
I'm
do
not going to
something like
deny it.
that. So I can see why people would have that panic reaction, which of course is at the end of the day, like yes, it's a reaction. It doesn't tell that he will actually, like, I don't think he would have done anything in the house beyond his very creepy, very
I don't think he would have
controlling
done anything
behavior. But
outside the house either. I have a personal feeling he
time will
just
tell.
might be like a
Time will
rage
tell.
guy, whatever. But that's for them to work out, and we'll see. Like, they're both young people. Obviously, they're young people, so they're growing and learning and all that. And we don't know that none of that's taking place. It might be taking place. We don't know. He might, look back at some of the stuff he said, and he said, oh, and look at himself, and he might go, oh man, that's not good. Like, we don't know, when he,
That
what
would be
he's going through
the
right
best
now.
result, honestly. Like some
I think it
self-reflection
would
and
be a
growing.
great
Kind
result.
of like Keanu,
But
for
I guess,
example. Like Keanu has a very clear bias that he doesn't believe women no matter what. And that's a big part of why he
yeah,
wasn't working with Rachel. And I do
right,
think that when he comes out of the house and he realizes that, oh wait, I have this implicit bias,
right.
he's gonna work through it, then he's gonna come out like better, believing people regardless of gender. So of
Yes.
course
But
there's space for growing better. Time
But I
will
guess
tell.
what I was getting upset
it could
about
be
though is
scorned.
I don't feel like they were giving Riley a chance though to like do all these things they say they want him to do. The same thing with Kat. Like, I feel like it's like, okay, you're banished from the kingdom. We hope you die when you leave the show. Like, they're evil people. Like, how is that going to help make him get on a positive track? You know what I mean? Like, you think it'd be the opposite. Like, you really hope, that you learn from this, maybe get some counseling if you need it, but it's for you guys to work out, when you go home to your families or whatever. But I feel like they didn't even want to give, he was, anyways, I just feel like it was over the top, the reaction, instead of letting them work it out, let them work it out. I was
Well,
actually
there
hoping
are
for
people
Catherine to
that
have
are
more
giving
time.
them grace. Like you guys
I
are
was hoping
giving
Catherine
Riley
would have
grace,
more
and I'm
time.
sure that he would appreciate that not everyone is against him.
It's hard. It's hard
Yeah.
I
when like
personally,
one
I
negative.
wouldn't give grace to a guy like that. I would cut him out of my life and never see him again.
Yep.
So I can't really hold any good feelings towards Riley, but that like, again, time will tell. But there's people that give
I was
grace.
hoping that
So
Catherine would
we'll
have
see.
more time in the house also, because I thought being how hard
Yes.
it was, honestly, being how hard it was, mine is probably for different reasons. Mine was that being how hard it was on Riley and his realization of what was happening, right? When he gets out, right? And all the stuff that was thrown on him and the hatred and all the stuff. I really wanted him to be able to have more time by himself and Catherine away from it, also, so that when she did get
Oh yeah.
released, let's say she got voted out or whatever 2-3 weeks from now, it would have given him time as well to kind of like help her, because I always felt they probably were genuinely close. And as she said to Julie that they were, I wanted to give him time more to know how to help approach her, of how they were both, the whole situation was viewed. Like, it would have given him more time to sort of know what he was going to do to help her through it when she gets out and finds out all this backlash, right? Revolving around both of them pretty much. And I just would have been better had he had more time to think about how he was going to do this or whatever, and for her to have more time. But, they didn't even give her that chance. I was really hoping she'd get that chance, but it is what it is. So she'll be thrown right in while it's still hot. Because like in a few weeks, it would have died down a little bit with
That
him.
is
People would
not ideal.
have lost focus on him and gone on to something else. But now it's still hot. And now Catherine's released right into it. And these people that act like they cared how she coped, well,
Yeah,
they
that
don't
is
seem to be too
worrying. That is
upset.
worrying. Lots of grilling online. That is most
So it's
definitely
kind of
going
like
to
the
happen.
opposite.
I do hope they stay offline, off social media for a while because they
Oh, me
need it.
too. Me too. Yeah.
It's always
Same.
the best advice, right?
Same.
Yeah, no.
And with that,
Okay. Any last words? Anybody want to? Lisa, would you like to plug our socials?